Hi there, Scorpio. Love and light to you all here. We're here for you with your, this is the 1st to the 15th of the month reading for January. Let's get on with it here for you, Scorpio, and see what comes through. Actually, is it the 1st to the 15th for you? Or is it the 15th to 31st that we're doing? I think it's the 15th to 31st that we're doing. Yeah. Okay. But take it as you will. I said the 1st to the 15th as well. So there could be a focus there on that timeline in addition. And perhaps we'll do a joint spread to see how it might kind of move from the 1st to the 15th into the 15th to 31st. Now, thank you all so much for tuning and connecting here to you, dear Scorpio. And right off the bat, I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera. Sorry about that. Hope it wasn't too loud. Scorpio. And I was getting that there is something that you've really been managing. Okay, let's just say it like that. It's something that has been in a cycle. I'm hearing also of management. I'm hearing processing. I'm hearing depression as well. I'm not sure what this alluding to, but something that hasn't even been cyclical for us for a number of you. Something that you've been even like you've been feeling perhaps that there is no way out of the cycle as well. I'm hearing it in that way. But at the end of the day, Scorpio, what it really comes down to is what officially can be made of the space. I'm hearing what can actually be managed. I'm hearing in a proactive way of the space. Now, I'm not sure what those alluding to. Just channeling what's coming through Scorpio. Always take it as you will. There's something perhaps that you feel though you almost want to like clear. You want to clarify. You want to also I'm hearing count down to. It's like, okay, well, if let's say that I've been in this space and just for whatever reason hasn't been serving me. Let's just say for whatever reason this space hasn't been motivating me. Well, what is it that I actually I call out about it on its behalf? Let's say that whatever it is, I'm in this environment and it's just I feel like I'm not able to fulfill my purpose. I'm hearing my dreams in this space. Well, wonderful. I realize that. Now, if we trail, right, that I'm hearing that sound out, where does it actually lead us to the action space of? If we know that that's how we feel, what do we take the action on to kind of associate? I'm hearing that feeling with, I'm hearing on a physical level. So for a number of you, you're actually tracing, I'm hearing your fears. Let's also say it like that. What is it that I actually feel I am not discussing? I'm hearing it as well in that way. What is it that I feel, but that I'm not discussing? And for a number of you, I was meditating your energy before I turned the camera, and I was getting that there's almost like this space of feeling like, okay, well, this situation, whatever it is, it doesn't actually, I'm hearing it, make me feel good for a number of you. I'm hearing make sense to me as well. Whatever this space is, I know that there's so much more to it that it can also be, that it could become. But I'm seeing this person who has, let's say, this knowingness, doesn't necessarily take action on that. Maybe they feel that there is, I'm hearing more time to discuss things. I'm hearing that as well. The Daughter of Wands, like somebody's been waiting to take action on something. You have the Son of Wands upright, Daughter of Wands in reverse, Father of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Wow, Scorpio. I keep wanting to pick up the High Priestess, but she does not want to come with the Father of Pentacles and the Son of Pentacles into that room. I don't know what that's alluding to, but somebody maybe is like, they prefer to also remain anonymous. Maybe somebody though is also resisting, okay? Focusing on a certain project here. I'm hearing in the timeline of I'm hearing the decisions that are made with the Father of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is sitting right over the Ten of Cups, which is sitting right over the Father of Pentacles. So there's something that is actually, somebody's been waiting to reveal something here. It could be to a Pisces. You got the High Priestess right over the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords mirroring the Two of Cups that's just landed right over the High Priestess. Somebody here perhaps has been really also managing their emotional space here in relation to a Pisces or in relation to some long emotional cycle. Scorpio, for a number of you, this is not something that we feel we could just kind of play games with. For a number of you, this has been a cycle that has tested us on levels to degrees that have not, as we may have felt it, been made exactly for us. Like, to say it in this way, like, I don't think that this situation, like, that I'm experiencing was, like, tailored for me. I feel like, whoever made this plan, whoever had this idea as well, did not make it with me in mind. I'm hearing that specifically. Now, for a number of you, this is something that you want to get out there. You want to release. I'm hearing you also want to reinvent. And it's so funny because I feel guided to actually record from another angle in the room now. For a number of you, maybe this is also something that you've been experimenting with. It could be something that you've really felt like also you needed time to kind of find your place in the space of. And for a number of you, I'm hearing it's been painful. I'm not gonna lie. This has been a cycle that, I'm hearing we felt like we wanted it to end. I'm hearing the story, please. I'm hearing, does somebody have a radio? Let's stick the let's stick the cassette in and see what it has to say. I'm hearing that specifically, like somebody wanted to even kind of replace, I'm hearing one space with another, like maybe they were like, it's just too hard, it's just too much. I'm hearing that specifically. And they perhaps they were considering, and they were really considering, like, what is the best way to handle this situation? Is it to just leave it, to just walk out of it, to just, and I'm hearing depressed. I don't know what that's alluding to. Always take it as you will. But somebody perhaps felt like, again, like there's no way out of this. Now, it's funny, Scorpio, because there is, right? And there always is a kind of recognition. Let's say in this way, well, I know that the situation doesn't work for me. Okay, well, clearly, right? Everything, again, I'm hearing depression, everything has its antidote. Everything has, okay? It's role. I'm hearing that as well. It's so weird because I'm seeing like, what is that? Okay. What is that? It's like this fuzz, I think. Yeah, it's this fuzz from this scarf that's sitting in front of this light. Okay. Interesting. Okay, for a number of you, there's been real difficulty with presenting something. I'm hearing it in that way. It's been like, I don't know how to like tell them that, God forbid, Scorpio, for a number of you, I'm hearing that I want to die. I don't know what this alluding to, but perhaps for a number of you felt like, it could be in a metaphorical space and in a way where you're like, I don't understand things anymore. I'm hearing I don't feel what I'm feeling anymore. I'm hearing that as well. Like, how do I communicate? I'm hearing as well to my publishing house. I'm hearing to my parents as well that this situation is not, I'm hearing like, I don't feel creative in it anymore. And what does it mean to feel alive? What does it mean to feel that we're grappling with that question of life and death? What does it mean to feel that we're surviving? What does it mean to feel that we've made it? I'm hearing that we feel successful in whatever this space is. For a number of you, perhaps you're at that space of thinking, well, what is my condition? I'm hearing that as well. What is also my conversation with myself, when I'm really asking myself these questions of what makes me feel, what gives me that feeling of being alive. And so for a number of you, there is this focus on your creativity, no doubt. Perhaps you've felt like your life has been really void, perhaps at times, of this ability to also learn about yourself, right? Like, at what point do we feel like, well, we're successful and perhaps we have found our algorithm, a way to kind of make peace also with our place in this world. It can be financially, it could be professionally, whatever it is, publicly. It's like, well, technically I have, kind of colored in my lines, guys, flip through my little program and you'll find, ways that I'm hearing we can make it work together. I don't know what that's alluding to. Maybe it's something that you felt you've also been compromising with. Now, whatever it is, again, Scorpio, let's backtrack. It's like, let's just say that may be the case. Well, at what point do we realize that we haven't let go in that space? Okay, where it's like, yet again, how do I feel that I'm present and I'm honest and I'm authentic on an emotional level in understanding what my needs are at every step of the game? I'm hearing in that way. How do I feel that I'm continuously auditioning for myself to reveal to myself what I really feel? Now, to say it in this way, Scorpio, have you kind of gotten a little too comfortable in a certain space where, and I want to put that in quotes, like comfortable, where you're kind of like, well, I feel like I can continue in this way. who wants to feel, right, that they're in a space where, the feeling is, well, I feel like I can continue, right? It's like, why would it be, let's say, I'm hearing a can and not a want. Okay, so for a number of you, perhaps you're in this space where you feel, well, the scenario is requiring of me. I'm hearing that specifically. Okay, so perhaps there's a focus on the environment. Perhaps for a number of you feel that your environment is restricting. You feel that perhaps even you could be under contract for a number of you, and you feel like, well, I need to continue. I need to constantly also process information, and that does not allow me the chance to release. I'm hearing what I feel my role has been. Okay, so for a number of you are actually in this process, okay, of managing one cycle of your life and merging it with the next. For a number of you, you're at that junction, perhaps for a number of you, of recognizing what you've created and realizing what you now want to create in the next cycle. Now, what it is that you feel you represent is a big question here. I'm hearing that specifically for a number of you, Scorpio. What you feel you are inhibiting, I'm hearing also your potential as. Let's say it in this way. For a number of you, perhaps you're feeling that what your public life is like in a certain way somehow interprets your future for you automatically. Okay, to say in this way that maybe for a number of you, you've been heavily involved in a certain space, physically, financially, publicly. For a number of you, you're publishing. Maybe you routinely produce or publish some sort of content, and maybe the understanding is that certain groups of people associate you, in particular Scorpio, with that particular also area of life, whatever it may be. Now, wonderful. Again, you might be incredibly successful in that space, Scorpio. You might have a lot of fans as well. I'm hearing that specifically, like people look at your work and maybe they're just in awe. Now, but at what point do we recognize, I'm hearing, our passion not as one that is to be painted as a portrait of our audience, okay, I'm hearing in that way as well, but of I'm hearing our inborn nature, where we don't need, okay, to necessarily narrate any one, I'm hearing, figure in time to make it feel like it belongs. I'm hearing in our future. Okay, so for a number of you, there's a focus on what you feel you're actually releasing. And it's not easy. I'm hearing it's something that has actually been woven. I'm seeing it as like a fabric that has been woven here, Scorpio. I'm hearing Alan. I'm hearing Capricorn as well. Aries, I'm here as well. For a number of you, it's like this has been something that has even perhaps worked at times, where you're like, well, it could even be a behavioral pattern where you're like, well, I usually handled these types of situations in that way, and I'm here specifically, like, that got the best of me. I felt like it got me far enough. I'm hearing that specifically, but now I realize that I don't want to just move to where I feel I can I'm hearing drive. I want to feel that I can actually feel the movement. I'm seeing somebody in a car and they're like, I feel like I'm just on autopilot. Okay, so for a number of you, this is the matter of reawakening, okay, your passion. For a number of you, perhaps you've been feeling numb. You're like, I don't know what my story is. I'm hearing my notes that I'm taking anymore. For a number of you, you're just like, you've been studying too hard as well. You're in a really rigorous academic program that is just, it's asking of you too much, perhaps, as well as you might feel it. This is for a number of you, but for a number of you, this is actually as intended. You're like, well, this is the point. I just need to ensure that I don't get, too caught up in that process, where that process doesn't allow me to move into the next step and stage of this cycle. So for a number of you, it's like, well, everything has its place. I understand that also what I've been involved in to this point is not irrelevant entirely to the next cycle and chapter. I know that it in some way does sort of baton, these experiences over in a deep and meaningful way. And I know that it's not just a matter of releasing that, even if it has been really trying. Again, that might be the point. The question is, how do I ask the right questions at this point in time that allow me to navigate, with these experiences into the future in a motivating way. Okay, so for a number of you, there's a question of perhaps, how do you also manage what you've already created? How do you take what you created and sort of motivate yourself to see and understand why you do what you do with that space as you move into the next cycle. Now, for a number of you, it's interesting because, well, if we really just trail it down to the archetype of Scorpio, we really trail it down to Scorpio itself, the question for Scorpio is always meaning. The why. The why are things the way they are. The why are things not the way that they're not. Why? Why is and why isn't. What is? I'm hearing everything. about the situation that I see or that I don't see? And what is it that I see as the cycle of understanding that space more deeply? So, to say that Scorpio is highly investigative, highly analytical, and a seeker of the depth, the truth of the motivation also of a certain space, be it even on a personal level, like with yourself, or you might find if you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, that this is a space where, you kind of psychoanalyze. You have the tendency to psychoanalyze yourself, okay? Where it's like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? For those who have gone to, let's say, more, a lot of Gemini, a lot of, maybe Aries, they might not, go to the lengths of attracting these questions to the extent that a Scorpio might, okay? Somebody who has a lot of Scorpio in their chart, and it will always depend, so many factors can be at play, okay? You could have a lot of Scorpio and you could have a lot of Gemini. In that case, it would be, interesting mix as well. But the question at the end of the day, again, for a Scorpio is, why? I'm hearing Cleopatra here. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. I'm hearing why. I'm hearing, why is it that I also want what I want? Now, for a number of you, you're getting to that point where you actually are quite successful. Perhaps you've produced also a certain, body of work that you're quite proud of as well. But the question for you at this point is now more an existential one of, what is it that I actually want now? As my reason for continuing, I'm hearing this cycle and the journey in this way. For a number of you, you feel that it's time to get, I'm hearing also tough on yourself a little bit here, when it comes to the point of calling the shots for the next cycle. Again, I'm hearing in that way, I'm seeing like a really clear distinction between what you've moved through and what you now are understanding as the next stage. Okay, interesting. So for a number of you, it's something that you're even building. It's something that you're even broadcasting. For a number of you, it's a stage. It's something that's like step by step, perhaps. Imagining like a movie producer who first they've got the idea, they meditate on it, and then they write the script, and then they think about the actors, and then they start to work with the story a little more as it relates to the actors, and then there is that sort of preparation there. I'm hearing auditions, and then there is the cycle of actually producing it, and the preparation of the environment, the context, the stage, whatever it is, and so there are cycles. I'm seeing, Scorpio, that there's something you've been actually staging out. Okay, be it conscious, be it happening on a subconscious level. What is subconscious? Okay, take it as you will. Where would that sort of associate or define our consciousness to be, if we can understand it within the paradigm of, I'm hearing sub or sopra. Okay, like, is this beneath my conscious mind, or is it behind it, or in front of it, or so it's interesting because I'm seeing that for a number of you, you might actually be at this point where you're questioning, okay, I'm hearing the purpose of everything right now as it relates to I'm hearing your movie script, I'm hearing your movie title. I don't know what that's alluding to. Like, for a number of you, you're like, I need to get really honest now, and I need to get really authentic. Okay, with what my integrity is here. And for a number of you, you understand that you have a lot of power here, right now, Scorpio. You know that your work right here, I'm hearing it is to serve. I'm hearing at its very best. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Maybe you feel like I have a lot of potential and I know that it's on the line here. Where is it? What is the direction that I actually pivot into? For a number of you, you're working with a large audience, and you understand the role that you play here is of paramount importance when it comes to your proposal. I'm hearing what you preach, what you teach, what you offer.
Scorpio and phone cut there.
So what we're saying, a guidance. For a number of you, you feel perhaps that your work has actually segued into that space where it's like, now it is a matter of more of maybe guidance. Okay, and let's say at a certain point you were working in a space of publicity. I'm hearing even performance, and now it's like, oh well, now I realize that I am an industry leader here, and I need to be able to interact also with my audience in ways that allow for proper I'm hearing intention, insight, foresight. Interesting. So for a number, you're thinking, well, how is it that I actually manage this space, what it is that I have created, the content that I have produced to this point? How is it that it moves forward in a deep and meaningful way? So for a number of you, maybe you feel also, and it could be different for everyone, but for a large number of you, there's something that even you feel you need to discuss, and it's an absolute, it's necessary in order to get your work to the next level. I'm hearing pro bono. For a number of you, perhaps you feel like, I need to start, I'm hearing Austin, Texas, I'm hearing also Austin Powers. For a number of you, maybe you feel like, I need to start start working also on certain campaigns. I'm hearing working with certain companies, working as a figure. I'm hearing in the public light. But as it relates to certain larger movements, for a number of you, perhaps you feel that the time has come to associate also your audience, I'm hearing your brand identity with more of a I'm hearing a community. I'm hearing a community collaborative. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. There's something perhaps of a feeling of, well, I want to maybe network, I want to connect also my audience to certain communities. I'm hearing that as well. That would allow for growth and sustenance. I'm hearing in certain types of I'm hearing offices. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Okay, I'm saying that this might have like a focus on even politics. This is for a number of you, even legislature. Like maybe you feel like, well, I am an influencer and I feel that, you know, I'm hearing the letter K. I feel that my content can actually pivot to, you know, kind of move certain parties in certain directions. So for a number of you, there is something that you feel like, well, it's interesting. I'm seeing somebody who actually has been publishing content for quite some time. They may be a YouTuber. They may have, again, a large following, a large audience, whatever it is. They're like, okay, well, now I realize that I'm not just like doing things for fun. I'm hearing that as well. Like maybe they're like, well, I'm not just like, you know, creating this company just for hoots and hollers. I realize that I'm actually here to connect people. I'm hearing in deep and meaningful ways to certain concepts that I feel are quite, I'm hearing important to me. Okay, I'm hearing that specifically and relative to you. So in other words, what is your personal philosophy, Scorpio? If you are a promoter of some kind, if you are an industry leader of some kind, the question at this point becomes, what is it that I want? Okay, to inspire. Okay, even on my own sort of plane, my work with and by. In other words, what is my leading? Also, I'm hearing my leading source. I'm hearing of information. I'm hearing that as well. 1 second for a number of you. It's like, it's funny. Again, I've seen people like they're asking somebody here, somebody could be running the limelight, big time. They like run up to this person and they're like, what's your philosophy? I'm hearing that specifically. What is your philosophy on life? And I was hearing philosophy specifically as I was meditating your energy for Eternally Camera Scorpio. I was like, what is it? What is also your secret? I'm hearing that specifically. Like, what is your fountain of youth? I'm hearing that as well. So for a number of you, Scorpio, you feel perhaps that you're in this position to actually herald attention not only around what it is that you make, and you could be a producer of some kind, even of a product, whatever it is, okay? Or again, work, some kind of content. You realize that now it's more a matter of your priorities and why your priorities are what they are. Why is it that, you know what, I actually do have this type of lifestyle? Why is it that I actually do live my life in this way? Why is it? And why is it? That's why as well. So for a number of you, there is a focus on even the philosophy to your lifestyle that is now becoming more of a focus. There's a bigger question. I'm hearing an overarching question of why also you work in the ways that you do. What is the actual process by which you create what it is that you do? What actually makes you feel involved in that process on a personal level for you? So in other words, it's like you might actually be questioned here. I'm seeing people who it could be an interview as well for a number of you, but maybe somebody's like, well, you know, why is it that this opportunity has meaning for you? Okay, not the you as, you know, on behalf of your community, but the you, okay, of you. Why is it that for you, this experience holds meaning in the way that it does for you? So in other words, it's like, how do I kind of even dissociate from the process of my creation, my creativity to this point that has perhaps been very much real? Well, I create what I do because I love also my audience. I'm hearing that specifically. Because I have love for why I live in this way. Interesting. Okay, but then, when I understand that I am at the advent of unfolding a whole new world, I'm hearing that specifically, the question of why you create what you create becomes so much greater than the answers that lie, I'm hearing, on the periphery of your platform. The question now is answered, I'm hearing, when you call yourself up, I'm hearing, to the podium and speak. For a number of you, Scorpio, there's something that you feel you are to present. It's a power that you have actually, Scorpio. For a number of you, this is something that you know is with you. It's a power of yours. It's an ability of yours. It's something that you realize is actually held in your ability to speak. I'm hearing in certain ways to certain people at certain times. For a number of you, you realize that your words are actually incredibly powerful. And you're at that point, Scorpio, this is for a number of you, where you no longer want to just call it something, funny, I'm hearing, or beautiful, I'm hearing, to listen to. For a number of you, might be a musician, and you're feeling perhaps that your work is taking on also more of a spiritual undertone, and you're feeling, well, the reasons why I feel like I want to write, I'm hearing also my songs in this way, are actually very, very deep and connected for me on a very, very personal, I'm hearing, even private level. These are things that I've experienced on a personal level, and that's why I want to share them. Yes, it is to also involve myself with my audience on these interactive levels. Yes, that brings me joy and pleasure, but at the end of the day, the mountain that I climb is the one that I survive, and that story for me is the one that I feel guided, okay, to create with, and to also, I'm hearing, to be honest with, I'm hearing to color, I'm hearing, in the lines for. So for a number, there's something you feel, this is for a number, you feel that you're at that point where you absolutely must share something. I'm hearing this could be a message for a number of you with your audience. You're like, that's it, I have to get up and talk about this. There's no way I'm gonna not also work the problem out unless I do that, unless I talk. For a number of you, this is something of a focus on communication, where you feel like I need to release this resistance, also perhaps this space of resisting, getting also perhaps more personally involved in my work life. This is for a number of you. Perhaps you felt like I feel a little anonymous in this space. I feel like people don't really understand me. I feel perhaps a little awkward at times as well. I'm hearing that specifically. I feel like people, they just see me as an actor, and maybe they see me as a really great actor, but I feel like they don't understand why I'm also acting the way I'm acting. Interesting. Okay, this is for a number of you. Now, I'm hearing for another number of you, there's something you've been waiting on big time. It's been something that you've actually had a lot of patience with. It's something that you've been even planning for, programming. I'm hearing that specifically, for even since childhood. This is a dream you had since childhood for a number of you, Scorpio. It's something that you've actually wanted to change. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Take it as you will, but I'm looking at those 2 bottles that are sitting on the desk right there. Again, I'm not sure what that's alluding to for a number of you, Scorpio, but there's something that you feel you've really meditated on. I'm hearing it's something that you I'm hearing you've read the chapter of, and you understand now, the next I'm hearing part to it that you wish to write out. And it's like, maybe this is something that you've even reflected on, and for quite some time, you kind of told yourself, well, eventually I will be revealing this. I'm hearing that as well to my audience. I'm hearing eventually I will also be perhaps kind of reconnecting with this space, with this also this idea of identity. I'm hearing that specifically as well. Even connecting with this content in a totally different way. For a number of you, this is something that you felt was also an ability of yours, a superpower. Even for a number of you, you felt like, and this is something that I feel, is not only to make me feel successful, but is also to make me feel connected to my world. For a number of you, it's something that you've needed to actually really, I'm hearing, wait on. I'm hearing that as well. Maybe you felt like it wasn't something that I could have just, proposed to my audience. I'm hearing my parents as well, just like in a way that felt sudden. I'm hearing that as well, something that you wanted to take planned, measured steps towards. Now, it's not easy, Scorpio. I'm hearing not feeling at peace with where you are, knowing who you really are. Interesting. So for a number, you felt like you were outcasted perhaps in some way by your environment. For a number of you, I'm hearing children as well. There is a choice perhaps that we feel we need to make. I'm hearing it's a big change. I'm hearing that as well. Now, let's backtrack, Scorpio. What does it mean to feel like we have a superpower? Okay, what makes us feel that we are powerful and that the power that we hold is considered super? I'm hearing super also. Yeah, I'm hearing power. I'm hearing empowering as well. One is that we feel that in other words, our ability also has the ability to kind of consider us as powerful in holding the power itself. Interesting. So for a number, this is getting a little abstract, I know, perhaps for a number of you, but for a number of you, look, what I'm getting here is that, well, if you consider, well, I have a superpower, right? It's interesting because that kind of brings into question and into the conversation who we are as holding the power, right? Rather than saying, well, this is powerful, or, you know, doing XYZ would be powerful, or this is a power. You know, if we are to say, well, this is a superhuman power, okay, it brings into question the point of also relativity to say, well, I feel like this is powerful in relation to this also, I'm hearing potential, this other person. So for a number of you, there's something that you feel you actually are very much uniquely, okay, kind of like responsible also for. It could be something that you feel is your ability. And you're like, well, no one else, I'm hearing this specifically Scorpio, like, let's back up, but let's just say that maybe you know that you have an ability, okay? Then you turn around, Scorpio, and you're like, I know that I'm the only one who can either resist this space or reveal it. It's all up to me. I realize that. I'm hearing that specifically. I realize that I am the one who's responsible, okay, to relate also to this ability in my own way. I could present this ability, maybe even to my audience. No one would really maybe understand, okay, the way that I would grapple with this concept as well. It's up to me, I'm hearing also, to change the perspective of the space. For a number of you, Scorpio, perhaps you feel that there is something of a focus on what you are dancing also a fine line with. I don't want to say it in that way, but it's something where you feel like, you know, if I were to present this, whatever it is, you know, it could be taken in a number of ways. Maybe it is a bit controversial, but I realize that it's up to me to very clearly, I'm hearing, define the purpose of this space. There's no point in just throwing it out there and allowing ideas to generate around it. It needs to be something, let's say it in this way, Scorpio, it's something that you feel you need to direct the space of, okay? And it can be on a personal level with yourself as well, where you feel like, well, there are so many perspectives to whatever this part of my being is. Now, I can to say in this way that I can technically analyze also this ability through the lens of what I feel I can describe. Now, at the end of the day, what is it that I don't describe, but that I feel of it, about it? And what is it that I feel drawn to, okay? Design, I'm hearing, with that knowingness as well. I'm hearing that I feel driven to draw to scale as well. What is it that I see, yes, as my potential, but also what I create with it? So in other words, Scorpio, this is for a number of you. You're drawing your potential to scale, I'm hearing, on a level that is exclusively, okay, relevant to you. In other words, why is it that I create what I do, and not for the sake of, okay, who will embody that same practice? In other words, when is it that I share what I share because I have shared that space sacredly with myself, and that I just am simply open to who accepts it? Interesting. So for a number of you, maybe you're at that point where you're like, well, I don't want to just kind of like roll on. I'm hearing it as well on the way. I don't want to just kind of like continue this cycle of what has sort of made sense to this point. I want to feel that every step I take is leading me into myself. And that's kind of an interesting question, Scorpio, because if you especially have like a huge audience, okay, it's kind of an interesting perspective to say, well, I am creating what I'm creating for the sake of my own development. Even though there is a huge, I'm hearing, dynamic at play here with perhaps, you know, my environment, I'm hearing the people in it, and also the progression of it, what is created from it, be it on a financial level, be it on a public professional level. Like, I realize that my work has impact, okay, on a number of levels. Again, I'm seeing somebody who has a huge audience, Scorpio. Okay, I'm seeing like in different industries, different populations, different groups of people are affected by these decisions that are made, are affected by this content also that is produced and put out there. Now, how is it that I maintain that connection with myself, okay, throughout the process in such a way that doesn't make me feel that I am defining others in relation to it? In other words, how is it that I do what I do without doing anything for any particular also person? I'm hearing place, time. I'm hearing that is waiting for it even. Wow. So for a number of you, it's like, how do I operate also under the space of pressure where I don't give into, okay, this is going to be happening on an energetic level as well for a number of you, where you realize that, you know, people have opinions. People have also their I'm hearing their states of mind. And where is it that I feel that I'm not affected by that? And as a Scorpio, somebody's got a lot of water energy in their chart, especially if your sun sign, okay, whatever it is, Jupiter and Scorpio I'm hearing as well, that can be kind of difficult because we do feel, now it is less so for Scorpio, fixed water energy. Okay, you got Pluto and Mars, your rulers of the 8th house. There's more of, that fixed energy space of Scorpio, but in general, water is incredibly empathic, and of course it will depend on how this energy, is in your chart, whatever it is. But anyways, Scorpio, it's like, at the end of the day, I feel so much, okay? And so how is it that I also, I'm hearing, plan around my magic, okay? Interesting. And so for a number, this is a matter of actually channeling your abilities. Okay, again, it's like, I know that I have this ability, but how am I actually applying it in a way that is conscious? This is for a number of you. So for a number of you, you're questioning your creative process. That's what I'm hearing specifically. It's like, if I see myself, even in this space in the future, so many things can happen, and this process can move in so many ways, so many directions, but what is it I lead of it? What is it that I lead out of it? And to ensure that that space is kept, I'm hearing, as sacred to me. Okay, even if, let's say, I end up making also waves, huge waves, I'm hearing in this industry, how is it that I ensure that the connection that I hold is first and foremostly, I'm hearing held with myself. I'm hearing held on a personal level with me and me. So again, for a number of you, that might be really at times challenging, where you're like, I see everybody in the room who wants to also play with my ideas. I'm hearing that as well, where you feel like, well, I want to interact also. I don't want to necessarily isolate myself. This is for a number of you. Maybe you feel that, privacy and private time is absolutely necessary, okay, for your creative development, for your creative processing. And maybe at times you feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm a sourpuss. And that I tell everyone that I need to, pass on their invitation to hang out. I'm hearing that as well with them. I realize that, maybe sometimes people will get a little bit, pretentious. I'm hearing about it as well. I don't know what that's alluding to. Like, maybe somebody feels like there are so many also influences, again, I'm hearing in that way, where everybody has, their priorities in mind. And to ensure that I'm maintaining that connection, I'm hearing with my priorities, I must make time to identify them, I'm hearing, on a daily basis. So for a number of you, this is a matter of also ensuring that you have some sort of lifestyle that allows you to feel that you are still, I'm hearing, connected to your own, I'm hearing, also creative vision. So for a number of you, this might be a space where you also feel that you get feedback for your work, okay, oftentimes. And for a number of you, maybe you feel like, well, I love that, but then it can interfere with how it is that I create in the next stage. So for a number of you, maybe you feel that, you don't necessarily want to be also collaborating in that space of your creativity. Maybe for a number of you, you're really questioning, how involved do I want my creative work to get with others? Love and light to Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to move into the 15th and 31st. Feel free to tune in there and subscribe if you haven't already, if you feel guided to. If you feel that you'd like to also watch other readings, and you can navigate through them on the playlist page. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to Scorpio. Bye.